Hi guys, today we're checking out the Behringer Ultra Vibrato UV300. This is a super cheap vibrato pedal, and given that the Boss one is over $200, it's probably not a bad option to start. I personally don't use very much vibrato, but I would be interested to learn how to use it for modern modulation sounds. So I bought this to kind of teach myself how to use it. Right, this is the clean sound. We're going into an Orange AD30 with a warm setting. It's very jazzy, very chordal, and I think this is probably quite a decent basis for having a play with some modulation sounds. So let's see how we get on. Pedals on, everything's in the middle. I think that the sound with everything at 12 noon is not super deep, but it's quite fast. So I'm going to back the rate down a little bit. Just see how that goes. The first impression is that it adds a nice warble to it. Maybe it's better if the depth is a little bit deeper. So let's see if we can add a little bit more kind of deep character to it. It's really noticeable when you kind of crank the depth up. It doesn't seem overwhelming to me though. I thought it would just be like a chorus pedal on crazy mode, but it seems usable even on its more extreme depth setting. In a mix, you wouldn't hear it as such, but it might add a nice kind of sense of movement to whatever you're playing over the top of it. It sounds nice with a warm amplifier. It adds a nice spooky element to like -7 chords. So I think if you're looking for like a modern pop sound with a slightly vintage angle, like if you like the band Tennis or stuff with like really clean kind of vintage inspired but quite modern modulation sounds, I think this is a winner. Like for $24 or whatever the hell this costs, then can't go wrong for that price. I'm going to put the depth on maximum and the rate on minimum just to see how kind of undulating it gets. It sounds kind of cool. I wouldn't use it personally with a distortion sound, but I think for the with single coils on clean setting, I think it sounds quite nice. The effect jumps out more when you go to the thinner strings. So I think personally it sounds. You don't even need to add your own vibrato too, because it makes the effects a bit kind of seasicky. So it's better as single note lines maybe. Yeah, the effect really jumps on the highest strings. So I think how I would use this is for like a warm kind of single note rhythm playing maybe. Let's have a play with a rise and see what that does. Now, apparently this affects the speed of the undulation, which it's kind of weird. Like my brain sort of imagined that rate would do that. So let's just see what kind of difference that makes. This is on quite a low setting. It's gone like swirly, like it's almost like got a time delay almost with the... It's quite interesting. It's got like a Alice in Wonderland kind of weird, wobbly kind of... If you're looking for something for amateur movie soundtracks, this is your kiddie. Let's turn the rise up and see what happens. It sounds really similar. It almost sounds like it's the rate is the same, but the spin, like the warble, has gone to double time. It's almost like a delay when you put it as dotted eighth notes. Like the delay time's the same, but it's kind of coming back on twice as many beats. Sorry, that was a really bad explanation. Okay, let's turn the depth down and try a more subtle setting. I'm going to put the rise in the middle because I don't think it's that obvious what it's doing, to be honest. I'm going to put the rate up a little bit and the depth down. So this should be more like a shimmery kind of sound. Oh, I like that. That sounds cool. So if you want quite a dramatic effect to add a bit of shimmer to your chords, I think this is a good alternative to a tremolo if you find that effect a little bit kind of not super interesting or a bit too vintage sounding maybe. Now how a lot of people use the vibrato is to set the rate and depth really low and just use it as an almost barely audible thickening effect. Excuse me, so this should be a relatively clean sound that sounds unaffected. And it's good, it adds a little bit of width and a little bit of warmth, kind of lower presence almost. You can still hear the tones being affected, but it's not super dramatic. It adds a little bit of push to the bottom of the amplifier. It's easier to play than I thought. I thought it would be seasick and dramatic and utterly unusable. But for $25, man, this is quite a nice kind of clean channel addition. Sorry, I'm just dicking around now. Anyway, we've got some other options. We've also got a unlatch, which is a momentary feature, so you can use it kind of a whammy. I'm not sure how useful it is. So I'm just going to play a note, and it should ring out normally, and then you can add some effect to it. It's more noticeable on single note lines, but it's just an extra free feature. The other setting is a bypass function, which I don't see the point of because surely you would just turn the pedal off. But there you go. Overall, I would say this is an excellent and fun pedal for the price that it costs, which is virtually nothing. So if you're looking for some way to access kind of clean modern modulation sounds, then this is a really good option.